All right. Well, happy Halloween, Lee. Lee Mason to my right, Chris Smith. This is Two Men in Football live from Coliseum Billiards and Sports Bar here on Haywood Road,
Roads.
here in Greenville, South Carolina. So we're gonna go over some of the college scores. We'll go over the new AP Top 25. Next week is the first official college football rankings. My doorbell is blowing up right
Wait, it's
now.
tomorrow, isn't it?
No, next week.
Oh, I thought it was tomorrow.
No, it doesn't start till next week. Um, and so that should be interesting to see how that pans out. And then we'll talk some NFL. We've got some rumors going on. We had a trade today
Yeah,
between the Bears and the Ravens. Hey,
that's big.
Ravens got one hell of a deal on that one, I'll tell you. But we'll talk about more about that later here on the Halloween edition. By the way, I'm dressed as an Ohio State fan,
Which is scary.
which is But I want to thank our sponsors, Brad Black, obviously, of Coliseum here. Chris Pryor of Service Realty, 864-380-0525. Plumbing and Pink is celebrating their 7th year today in business. Rusty and Lynn Greer have been big supporters, 864-735-7014.
Did he do that on purpose? Like Halloween start?
I haven't seen Rusty in a couple weeks. Next time I see him, I'll definitely ask him. And then if you got any comments, volume's up. If you got any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. I always miss something. I'm trying to get that.
Social,
I'm about to quit.
right?
I'm literally like about this close from quitting.
Yeah,
Because he's letting all the wackadoos back.
right.
And who needs that nonsense?
Nobody needs it.
Exactly.
It's not good for anybody.
If you, well, let me not.
Just let it go.
Yeah. There's a thing called Truth Social you can go hang out on.
Lots of truth there.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into it here with the scores from college football. We'll start with the Friday night games. You had number 14. I was gonna take a sip of my beer, and I just keep holding it. Kind of wet the whistle, as they say. Number 14, Utah played Washington State. It's actually
Yeah.
it was a pretty damn close game, especially at the end. Washington State in fourth quarter scored 10 points, but Utah pulled it out 21-17. Then you had the one of the teams north of South Carolina play, NC State, ranked number 24th. They beat
Well, both of them
by the
are north
skin of the, well, all right, semantics. Number 24 ranked NC State by the skin of their teeth takes out 22 to 21 Virginia Tech.
That was an ugly game.
I didn't get to catch any of it.
It was. I mean, until maybe the very end when State put in a different quarterback and they scored a little bit. But yeah, it was like 6-3 at halftime or something like that. It was pretty bad.
Okay. Then we'll go into Saturday's game. Number 1 Georgia just dismantles. I mean,
Well, they did early, and then Florida kind of got back into it, and then Georgia separated later on.
yes. Excuse me. Georgia wins 42-20. Then we had the heart attack game for me.
Give me a break.
Oh, come on, man. Until the fourth quarter, Penn State was winning.
You really thought that it was going to end up like that? No.
Well, you never
That
know.
kind of stuff doesn't happen.
You had-
Penn State is. If you were playing somebody good, then I would say maybe there's some room for concern. But Penn State can never seem to be the teams that it needs to be of relevance. So,
well, Ohio State, number 2, Ohio State takes care of Penn State 44-31. We scored 28 points in the fourth quarter. So,
and if you asked me to put money on it in the third quarter with Ohio State down, I would have been like, absolutely, the Buckeyes will end up winning this game.
listen, I'm just saying it was a tight game for the first 3
For
quarters.
the first 3 quarters, sure. That's
then
why they play 4.
Yes. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Then you had number 3, Tennessee, just demolished.
That was
That
yeah.
Tennessee just demolished Kentucky 3. They're ranked number 3. Kentucky's 19, 44-6.
So I do know in the new poll, Tennessee is tied for second now.
Based on points?
Yeah, the overall votes and everything.
Okay.
Tell you what, this whole year, I've kind of stuck with Georgia being there, but if somebody wanted to put Tennessee 1, I have no problem. Now, granted, it'll work itself out this week because whoever wins that game is going to be number 1.
Yes.
So
I got my money on the Vols.
okay.
All right. And we'll get into some of this nonsense that happened after this game. Because this is the, I believe, second time in the last 3 games there's been an issue in the big house between the 2 teams. At the end of the game, there's been a scuffle because Michigan seems to not want to build another tunnel, or Harbaugh seems to think that it's a great idea to let both teams go in to the tunnel at the same time. And, nonsense. Michigan beat Michigan State 29-7.
Ran all over us.
But at the end of the game, there was another scuffle. This time,
It was almost like a lynching.
this time there was some smack talk from a Michigan player as he was walking through the tunnel. Now, when you are by yourself and you don't have any teammates around, and you go talking shit after you beat the crap out of a team, what do you expect? There are 5 Michigan State players who are now suspended. Jim Harbaugh says he believes that criminal charges will be filed. Listen, the nonsense. Just separate the teams. Give it a minute or 2. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The same thing, something similar. I wouldn't say something similar, but a scuffle occurred. But just give it a couple minutes between the 2 teams going in. So let the away team go first, and then Harbaugh hold back his players for a minute or 2. And then you
celebrate on the field anyway.
Or if I'm Michigan and you've got hundreds of millions of dollars, build another tunnel.
Yeah.
So that way there's a home tunnel, there's an away tunnel. Each of the teams are totally separated. There's no issues. So and Harbaugh's whole just demeanor about all this stuff occurring. I hate Michigan, but at the same time, I just think something needs to be done. Either holding the team or the University of Michigan just building a separate entrance exit for the away team, so that way this nonsense doesn't keep occurring. But you should know better as a player. There's 30 Michigan State guys and you, and none of your teammates are around, and you just kick their ass. You don't think they're pissed off?
Right.
Do I think they should gang up and kick and punch a player? No, it is unacceptable. Should they be suspended? Absolutely. Should they maybe be kicked off the team?
That's where I would go.
Absolutely.
That's where I would go.
So, listen, criminal charges. The guy was the one talking shit. The Michigan and there's 3. I watched 3 different videos that were being recorded. The worst one was the one that most people have seen. That's been on ESPN, where the Michigan State players surround him. He's on the ground. But there's also earlier video and side videos where the Michigan players talking shit to these guys. He swung his helmet. And so I can't say they were unprovoked. but at the same time, you don't do something like that. You don't gang up on a guy and try to beat the shit. You're wearing cleats. So, I don't know. Be interesting to see moving forward. If I was the forget Jim Harbaugh for a minute. But as the AD or the president of the college, you've had two separate incidents with where this happens. So don't you go to the coach and say, "Hey, coach, let the away team go first. Hold your guys back for a minute or two. Let that team clear. Go to the away locker room, and then, or vice versa. I don't give whatever it is, but you've got to do something."
I like the
Because
extra tunnel idea better.
Well, I do too. And this stuff, we don't hear about this happening in other places because there are separate entrances and exits for both the home and away team. So that's my. So how do you feel about it? What do you think? Besides the extra entrance
Pick
exit,
them off the team, and I would say that's probably the extent that I would go with it. I mean, if he had gotten, seriously hurt, then we can talk about criminal charges. But I haven't heard anything about him being in the hospital or anything.
No,
like
he
that.
did not.
So I would just say kick him off the team, and that's it.
All right, we spent enough time on that.
Yes, too much.
All right. Number 7, TCU takes care of West Virginia 41-31. Oregon takes care of Cal 42-24. Oklahoma State, man.
Dude, talk about just getting destroyed.
22 and K-State got destroyed a couple of weeks ago. I don't know.
And I don't recall where they were, but after that, you shouldn't be in the top 25 with 2 losses. We can look at it in a minute, but to me, I'm like, you get beat that bad? Yeah, no. And then all those turnovers that Wake had was ridiculous.
So Kansas State, ranked number 22, beats number 9 Oklahoma State 48-9.
Nothing.
Which is crazy. We have a comment, but I can't see the damn thing. See the comment box up there? Want to press that right-hand side under end broadcast.
See it?
Yeah, I want to see what it says. Let's see. There we go. Hello from NYN, New York State. Hello. Sorry. I didn't.
Okay, now we've got the comments.
Yeah, now we get. Well, I got the comments in Facebook, that from there. But anyway, and then you had Louisville just demolish Wake Forest, and everybody, Wake Forest. I knew Wake Forest wasn't that good. They're not that good.
They had 8 turnovers.
Yes. So they lost to Louisville. 48-21. Then you had the real USC. By the way, we'll get into that in a minute.
You're right.
Ranked number 10, USC beats Arizona 45-37. UCLA, ranked number 12, takes care of Stanford 38-13. Old Miss, how do you get knocked? I still don't get it. How you get knocked down to 15 for losing one game, but whatever.
Because it was to LSU.
But anyway, number 15, Ole Miss beats Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, who was running his mouth and got beat again.
31-28. So they are paying, and let's talk about Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. Texas A&M is paying Jimbo Fisher $95 million more in his contract than they paid Kevin Sumlin. And Kevin Sumlin has more wins at the same time as his head coaching career at Texas A&M.
Kevin Sumlin took them to New Year's Six games or bowl games,
right?
And stuff like that. New Year's bowl games.
Texas A&M, you're a bunch of morons. And you got Then you got another upset. Number 16 Syracuse gets burned by Notre Dame.
I think that just kind of shows that there's
The
certain
ACC
teams,
sucks.
there's certain teams that can start the year hot, but you still know deep down that they're probably not all that. And I think most people had that feeling about Syracuse.
Well, I would think so. You've got the surprise of the Big Ten, the Fighting Illini,
The Bielamas.
ranked number 17th. They're 7-1. They beat Nebraska. Not a big lift there. 26-9. Then you've got number 20 Cincinnati. Just shits the bed.
UCF. I told you, what was it, last week or the week before? And I was like, UCF's not bad. I said Malzahn, even though I don't like him, he's done a pretty decent job. And now they're number one in that conference.
Then you got number 21 ranked.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina beats Pittsburgh 42-24.
The Drake May show.
I mean, you guys were losing going into the fourth quarter. Yes? No? Maybe? 24-21.
Yeah.
And then
Drake May just said nope and just started slinging it.
Uh,
So he is now at 29 touchdown passes. The ACC record is 40 from Crab Legs. So I think he passes Trevor this weekend, and then he's got Sam Howell and Crab Legs. I think he can get the pass. I think he can pass 40 in 4 games. Yeah,
he's got how many?
29. He needs 11 touchdowns in 4 games.
I would say that's doable.
And that doesn't count how many rushing. So
Yes. And then you've got
So the real team from Columbia beats South Carolina.
the Missouri takes out number 25 South Carolina 23-10. Now also we'll go into this. The Columbia, South Carolina team decided that they were going to change their logo. So it used to be U of SC.
Okay.
Now it is. So they went to court, USC, and there was a whole fight. And the court said, whatever, just do what you want.
Okay.
And so they are back to USC.
So they dropped the of. So it says USC essentially.
There, I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Let me do the old Google.
So here's my question, and obviously we like to make fun and tease and all of that. And while I agree that the real USC is Southern Cal, what is the determining factor, in your opinion, of what makes you the real one or not? Who do you go with?
So this is their academic branding,
Right.
and this is their sports branding.
Okay. So what makes you consider Southern Cal the real and South Carolina?
Well, because they've always been better, and if I may be wrong, but I believe the one in California started first. No?
No. There wasn't anything in California in 1801.
The Gold Rush. 1880.
Right. So 1801 and 1880.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All right. I still consider out there better.
And that's why, the first public university, 1789, is Carolina. So that's another trivia question for you.
They have Christmas decorations up
That's
already.
great.
They've got a Frosty the Snowman. Anyway, just getting off track here.
Yeah.
Somebody rang my bell again. I just like to see what these kids are dressed in. And if one of them little bastards eggs my house, uh, I
Don't say on air what you're going to do to a little kid, okay?
Well, they probably won't be little if they egg. They'll be at least 15, 16.
Yeah, it's still not old enough to,
to get blown away. Just kidding. Would never do that. Although I would probably run out with toilet paper and
throw it at him.
And try and make it
back at him. Or something like that. That's fair play.
All right, let's look at the new top 25 as of today.
You could have just pulled down and gone rankings under NCAA and ESPN. Boom, right to it. Look how tech savvy I am.
You don't even have Facebook, Instagram. All right. Oh. Wow. Tennessee sort of jumped Ohio State.
No, they're tied.
No, Tennessee is considered because Tennessee has more first place votes.
Well, then that, yeah. But technically, overall, I think
they are tied. Yes. They both have 1,500
The tiebreaker would be the first place votes if you really wanted to go there, but let's just say they're both 2.
Yes. So Georgia State is number 1. Tennessee, Ohio State tied for 2. Michigan is 4. Clemson 5. Alabama 6. TCU 7. Oregon 8. The USC out in Cali is number 9, up 1. UCLA is number 10, up 2. Ole Miss up 4.
Yeah.
Right, number 11, Utah up 2 to 12. Kansas State up 9.
Well, when you
to number 13. Illinois up 3 to 14. LSU up 3 to 15. Penn State down 3 to 16. North Carolina up 4, you bastard, to 17. Oklahoma. Wait, we got some good ones coming. Oklahoma State down 9.
They shouldn't even be
to 18. Tulane up 4 to 19. Wake Forest down 10 to 20. NC State up 3 to 21. Syracuse down 6 to 22. Listen to this nonsense. Liberty.
Hey, man. The Flames can score. The Fighting Hugh freezes.
You mean the Fighting Billy Grahams?
No, it's the Falwell.
Falwell.
Fighting Falwell.
The Fighting Falwell. That's right. Where did I get? But didn't Billy Graham live on the campus?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's some.
You mean Junior?
Yeah.
You're Franklin Graham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, I believe he has a house on campus.
Oh.
And then Oregon State moves in to 24. UCF, number 25. And then you've got a bunch of.
2018 national champion.
Then you got a bunch of bums. So drop from the rankings were Kentucky, Cincinnati, and South Carolina.
That sounds about right.
Yep. All right, let's talk some NFL here.
Really quick before that.
Uh-oh. What?
Since we won't be on air before it happens, let's do a little preview of the big game Saturday.
What's the big game Saturday?
It's Tennessee and Georgia.
Oh, I didn't look at the schedule yet.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
that is for SEC East supremacy right there.
that you are correct. That is going to be an interesting game. I am with the Vols. I think Tennessee. I mean, they're on some hell of a roll.
So
I think they've got one hell of a team.
what happens?
And who doesn't? Who always?
What happens if? All right, whether it's Tennessee or Georgia, wins or loses, they went out for the rest of the year with one loss. And then Tennessee or Georgia gets beat by Alabama in the SEC championship game, and all three of them have one loss. Do you take the two that played in the championship game as the one losses that get in? How do you sort that?
I would probably say if I was the college football playoff committee, I would probably say that the winner of the Big Ten out of Michigan, Ohio State gets in, and all three of them get in.
You think all three? So what if TCU's undefeated? What if Clemson's undefeated?
Strength of schedule.
No, I mean I'm just saying. Like I don't.
You know that's not.
I don't.
The ACC is not.
I do not think. While I would agree that they might be the three other best teams, I don't know if the committee's ready to go there and leave out two undefeated. They could leave out one, but I don't see them leaving out two undefeated major conference champions. So I think either TCU or Clemson would get in, and you'd have two SECs and one Big Ten. I can't see them. I can't see them going. We're going to put all three in with one loss, and then we've got these two, Big 12 and ACC, that have none. I can't imagine that happening.
I see what you're saying there.
I mean, like most,
but
let's go. That predict,
let's go back to
most of them have Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, and Clemson, or Georgia, Tennessee, and TCU. Like they have it set up where generally there's just the two.
I just don't. The SEC is so tough because there's
at the top. Yeah,
there's all good teams at the top. That the ACC, Clemson has a terrible strength of schedule. Let's be honest.
But you can't help what the schedule is.
Correct.
Other than the playing the Furmans and stuff like that.
Well, you should also, be out there as Ohio State is doing. I mean, we're about to have a home and home with Georgia starting next year.
It's about time, because wasn't that your first road game, and we're in like November?
What?
Penn State was your first road game.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought we went to some crappy school. Maybe it was. Whatever. Who cares? Moving on. No, I really do think the committee will end up letting 3 SEC schools, if it is Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama,
with all one loss. You think all 3 would get in?
Yes.
All right. Interesting. So
based on strength of schedule, but based on
the fallout from that and the outrage would be.
There should be an expansion of the college football.
Well, absolutely, but you can't help that now.
Well,
to me,
they should push up the timeline.
To me, you have to.
The committee should push up the timeline.
Well, to me, you have to. You can't just say these are the 3 best we think, regardless of record, and we're just going to put them in. There has to be, like, if you haven't lost, that should still matter.
I 100% agree, but it hasn't happened in the past.
So let me ask you this. If, let's say there's a team that starts off 0-3, and they're number one, like their quarterback is the best player, returning, coming in, everybody's like, oh, he's going to be the number 1 pick. And he's out for the first 3 games. He comes back, and they absolutely smoke everybody that they play.
Right.
And the committee's like, well, they're the best right now. But if you had 4 undefeated teams and then them with 3 losses, even though they've smoked everybody and they look amazing, to me, you still have to reward not losing.
Right.
So to me, I just can't imagine 3 one-loss teams getting in.
It's happened before.
Well,
UCF, they pronounce themselves the national champion.
in one of the polls, they were. There are like 15 recognized polls, and one of them
It is now down to 3.
one of those computer rankings have them at number 1, so they claim the championship. All right, so you got Tennessee beating Georgia.
Yes.
Okay. I think the big thing is Georgia's defense, while good, is not loaded like it was last year.
Correct.
And with the offense that Tennessee runs with that extreme spread stacked on the edge where it makes your safeties spread out and that middle of the field is just wide open. All it takes is your lineman making the right block and the back taking out the linebacker, and you're like, yeah. So you can either just run up the middle with it, or receivers on crossing patterns running free through the middle of the field. So hard to defend. Nobody's been able to figure it out yet. We'll see if Kirby can do it, but I think the Vols will probably win too.
And just as a side note, I know this is a football podcast, but if you were looking to watch the World Series tonight, that is not happening. Got rained out.
Well, I mean, nobody cares anymore.
Well, some people care.
Not really. It's not with who's in it. Nobody cares about those teams unless you live in Philly or Houston.
Well, I hate Bryce Harper.
Okay.
I think he's the biggest prick alive. I think he's worse than Aaron Rodgers.
He's not worse than Urban Meyer.
Well, no one's.
And no, he's not. I don't think he's worse than Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, he is.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. So, even though Houston cheated a few years ago, I would like to see the Astros win it.
No.
Well, that's your opinion, and I got my opinion. All right, real quick. We are at Coliseum Billiards and Sports Bar here on Haywood Road in Greenville, South Kakalaki. Want to thank our sponsors, Chris Pryor Service Realty, 864-380-0525. Plumbing in Pink, celebrating their 7-year anniversary, 864-735-7014. Thank you, Rusty and Lynn Greer, for being a sponsor. Thank you, Brad Black, for letting us do it here at Coliseum. So, let's get into some of these NFL scores.
Okay.
There are some interesting games.
Very interesting games.
By the way, there are a lot of people coming in to play pool, huh?
Yeah.
I think this is the most people we've seen so far. At least on a Monday night, I should say. But anyway. The Buccaneers continue their troubles.
Yes.
Tom Brady gets divorced. I think that weighed him down. I think it's had a psychological effect on him.
I mean, who could it not?
Right.
You know.
Even if you hate the woman that much, it's still got to take a toll. You got 4 kids, I believe. They got.
I think 2 with her and 1 with Bridget.
Right. By the way, I love that show, Blue Bloods. Watch it all the time.
I've never seen it, but all right.
It's with Tom Selleck and Bridget Monahan. You never watched it?
No.
You should watch it. And New Kids on the Block. Donnie Wahlberg. Couldn't think of it. Anyway, Ravens take care of the Buccaneers 27-22. Then you had the early morning snooze fest because I didn't even wake up in time to watch it. I couldn't even find the game, to be honest.
It's on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, they could suck it. I'm not paying.
It's like, I mean, make it like, I mean, I'm glad they chose that game to put on ESPN
The
Plus.
Jaguars Broncos. And then somehow, and I thought the Jags were looking good. I thought ETN looked good. ETN ran for like 170 yards.
Evidently, those high knees in the plane worked because Russ ended up showing up a little bit near the end of the game.
Yeah, and Bucks pull it out. Buccaneers. What am I talking about? Broncos pull it out. We were talking about Tom Brady. So Broncos pull it out 21-17. the Dolphins almost. I mean, the Dolphins almost lost this game,
They
which
almost
was,
did.
which
Yeah.
was. I was like, am I watching the right game?
The Lions have
They
played
have
a lot of
heart.
teams. They've played a lot of teams.
You gotta
close,
have
and
heart.
and they score points.
What
They
movie is that from? You gotta have heart.
Oh, God. Hold on.
It's a football movie.
Are
Gene Hackman,
you talking
Keanu
about-
Reeves.
Oh, the replacement.
Yeah, remember he's got the.
Shane Falco.
You gotta have heart.
Shane Falco.
Anyway, so yeah, so Dolphins take care of the Lions 31-27. I thought the Lions were going to win. I couldn't believe how close that game was for a long time. And then this game.
I'll tell you what, I was looking online to see if the Panthers were going to cut a kicker and sign somebody else because, oh my goodness.
What's his name?
Eddie Pinheiro.
Eddie Pinheiro. Fired.
But I tell you what, did you see that pass that PJ Walker threw in the end zone?
I did.
And the thing is it wasn't even like one of those like high up Hail Marys. That thing was just a rope deep over the shoulder. Like it was sick. And I know a certain number 6 could never make that throw in his life. So good for you, PJ Walker. You finally give me some reason to cheer for the Panthers this year. Somebody else still needs to get cut, other than the kicker.
Well, he's the backup.
I won't get into it.
They're not going to cut him. He's
They ain't
owed
gonna-
too much money.
Cut him. Trade him for pay somebody to take him.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, the Panthers definitely should have won that game. They gave that away, and they needed a new kicker. So.
All right.
If anybody knows how to kick, call the Panthers. Go to Charlotte for a tryout.
Terrible. By the way, Falcons won in OT 37-34 because Eddie Pinheiro missed the extra point,
And
missed the field
in
goal.
overtime.
I'm surprised he was allowed back in Charlotte.
Well, we don't know.
And then you had a great game, Vikings-Cardinals. Cardinals couldn't
No
pull it out.
surprise that the Vikings won that, though.
Well, they're in first place up there.
By a significant margin.
That's right, yeah. Like 4 games.
Like, they're going to clinch pretty soon.
They were up by like 4 games,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Then you had the Cowboys. Now, I thought the Bears looked good. Finally.
Oh, well, they ran the ball really well, and that's the one thing that you can do against the Cowboys is kind of run right at them because, the pass rush obviously is really good. So it's going to take, obviously, like the Eagles, any of the teams, 49ers, are going to have success against the Cowboys. Teams that rely strictly on the pass, might have a problem. So.
I would agree. Boys roll 49-29. Then I thought this was the surprise. The biggest surprise of yesterday. The Saints. With the red rifle.
Yeah.
But Alvin Kamara
went nuts.
he did.
He went nuts. His fantasy line was ridiculous.
I believe I ended up with 51 points. I think the highest more that I've seen this year was Tua, and he had 62.
Okay.
But Saints win 24-0 over the Raiders.
Josh McDaniels getting fired soon.
Where was Josh Jacobs, who was the last 4 weeks has absolutely been destroying it?
Well, when you're down and all you can do is throw the ball, that's probably what happened. Problem is they couldn't throw the ball.
Hey, don't be stealing any of my stuff. They're getting older as the night goes on. I literally want to be like, leave my gnome alone. By the way, my wife puts out the worst candy. She put out Werther's Originals.
What is she, 80?
Wait, I look. She put out Kind Bar. Kind Bars. What are they?
Oh, really? The little mini kind bars, like healthy bars.
Yeah, she put out those. She. What else did she put out? She put out the candy straws. Remember the old school candy straws you used to get?
Pixie sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pixie stick. That's a decent one. That's a decent one.
No one knows who the hell the kids these days don't know who the hell they are.
What's your go-to Halloween candy? What do you like?
Twix.
Twix are solid. I like Twix and I like Kit Kat.
And yes,
Yeah.
and Kit Kat. Yes, I like both as well. Oh boy, don't run over the kids. Good Lord. Sorry, I'm just watching my house.
Yeah.
Watching.
Stop doing it.
Well, yeah, but I want to make sure no one
And
damages.
if anybody has, feel free to put your favorite Halloween candy in the chat.
Yes, absolutely. All right, next game. Because we're already at 40 minutes.
All right. Well, we got time. 20 minutes to knock out NFL.
Well, this was no surprise.
What, the Jets and the Patriots?
You know what? Shut up. The Eagles.
Oh, sorry.
Eagles, Steelers. Eagles
No,
win 35-13.
That game was over at halftime. A.J. Brown beat him by himself.
Dude, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown have just started lighting it up. Oh, look, it's our glow-in-the-dark balls. We played in a charity golf outing. The balls, and it was at night. And when I say at night, it was at night. Yeah, you couldn't see a lick in front of you. Except the ball. When it flew in the air. But anyway, that was fun. We won the tournament. We had a good time. I won a dog. Yikes. Anyway, Adaptive Golf, upstate? Adaptive Golf, South Carolina.
Charity, yeah, something like that.
Adaptive Golf. It helps people who are
disabilities,
veterans, stuff like that. It buys them equipment. It helps. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I never heard of this charity before. I was hosting bingo at Iron Hill and started talking to the dude who's the executive director, and he said, "Bring a team of 6. Don't worry about it." So we brought a team of. Forget about it. Anyway.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got next? Yeah, my damn Jets.
I think that's just mental. I think there's just something about playing the Patriots.
Bill Belichick.
That it's just like they just can't get over that hump.
So we lost 22-17.
I mean, that roster's better. The Jets have a better. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, I still think Zach Wilson definitely has some maturing to do, but I mean, overall, yeah, the Jets. I think if Joe Flacco would have played, they probably would have won that game.
I don't know about that.
What, did they lose by 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they win with Flacco. The blue hen would have pulled it out.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. This was a surprise to me, considering that Ryan Tannehill was not playing. They had a rookie in Malik Willis as the starting quarterback, where the Titans beat the Texans.
They have a 260-pound running back that they can say, "Here, go plow these people," and that's exactly what he did.
That
he ran
is
for
true.
Over 200. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had himself a day.
Let's see. What do we got next? What do we got? Oh, I was very upset with this game.
With the Giants losing?
Geno Smith. I don't know what clicked in his brain all of a sudden. I mean, he was the backup to some good quarterbacks. Let's think about that. Eli. He was the backup for Russell Wilson. Before that, he was Mark Sanchez.
What I will say, though, is, I mean, the guy's always had the ability. He's always been able to spin it. But even he'll tell you, I matured later. Was not mentally there. When you go somewhere like
so you
New
spend
York,
10 years
you go somewhere
as
like
a backup,
New
and all of a
York,
sudden the light comes
you
on.
go somewhere like New York, and you've got. I mean, it's the biggest pressure cooker there is.
I would
and
agree with that.
He couldn't. It wasn't. I think with a lot of these people that don't pan out, it's situational. And a lot of these people where they do pan out, it's they went to the right spot with the right coach at the right time. A lot of this is
Pete Carroll looks like a freaking genius. Do you realize that?
Pete
So
Carroll's
they
a good
trade.
coach, and he always
They
has been.
trade Russell Wilson, who looks like absolute trash, and now you have his backup Geno Smith, looking like an MVP caliber quarterback.
He's in the conversation. Yeah.
Like, never ever.
I would say he's probably number 4 right now.
Behind.
Well, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and then him probably.
All right. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Then you had the Jonathan Taylor 3/4 list Colts because he got hurt again. Stupid. Remember. Loses to the Redskins.
Oh yeah.
17-16. You suck.
Taylor Heineke.
You made the guy look like a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, then you had the Rams 49ers. Hey, that was a good game until Christian McCaffrey decided
I'm going to do everything.
Yeah. I will throw a pass, run the ball, and he did 3 and catch a ball.
Yeah.
The trifecta. Hasn't been done since
LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, before that.
Yeah, no. That was the last player that did it.
2005?
I don't remember exactly the year, but yeah, that was the last time it was done.
Okay. Then I don't know if I'd take this as a butt whooping. Because, I fell asleep.
It was early.
I fell asleep.
I watched, first half. It seems like they probably took the foot off the gas a little bit, and it is closer than it looked.
But the Bills take care of Aaron Rodgers in the pack, 27-17. Then let's talk tonight.
What do you do if you're Green Bay?
Just let Aaron Rodgers retire.
Do you
No.
trade him tonight?
No.
Within the next?
Is today the deadline?
I think it's tomorrow at 4.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I'm hoping. I've heard rumors that Bradley Chubb from the Broncos
might go
to the Jets
or the Falcons.
Oh, I heard Jets. Why would the Falcons got Grady Jarrett? Jarrett Grady? What's his name?
He's a D tackle. Bradley Chubb's a pass rusher. He's an outside pass rusher.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, hear me out on this.
Okay.
Clearly, the Packers are going nowhere.
Correct.
I don't see, a couple of years ago, he was like, relax, and they ended up turning it around. But that was like week 3.
Right.
We're at week 8 now, going into week 8.
Yes.
And the lead that the Vikings have.
Oh, it's
So if a team that is leading their division called and said, we'll give you 2 1s to get the picks and dump the salary, do it.
I don't know about
Or
that.
3 1s.
I don't know if I would do that. Maybe 3 1s. Maybe I do 3
Yeah, that's what
1s.
the Falcons are like. We don't think Mariota can win a Super Bowl for us, but we'll trade 3 1s for A-Rod. Hey, do it. Why not?
All right.
What is he, 38? Get
Yes.
rid of him.
All right, let's talk about tonight's game before we close up shop for this week. So we've got the Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Maybe everybody's out trick or treating, but we are in a Browns bar. I don't know.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna influence my pick at all. And
Oh, the Bengals.
even though Joe Burrow has yet to beat the Browns,
Jamar Chase is out.
tonight I still don't care.
Okay.
I'm still taking
The Bengals.
Joe Cool and
Joe
the
Cool.
Bengals. Joe Cool 2.0.
That's funny. I as well am taking the Bengals. I don't know.
What is the line? 2.5, 3?
Let's see. Ba, 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 da, ba. It is 7.5.
Oh. No, I would take. All right. Bengals win, Browns cover. That's what I would do.
I am going Bengals win, Bengals cover.
Okay.
I think it's going to be at least a 14-point game.
Okay.
I think Joe Burrow has found his confidence again. He's looked great in the past 3-4 games. So I don't think. I honestly don't think that Browns have a shot in this game.
I don't think they're gonna win, but
I
I
mean,
think
Joe Mixon. I love
7.5.
Joe. I love Nick Chubb. You know, I like to beat my girlfriend, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he needs to be gone. There's teams that are talking about him.
Yes, of course there are. I'm sure
Why you would want somebody like that on your team, I don't know. But I wouldn't have Joe Mixon on my team either. So
Oh my God.
what? That can't be true. That can't be true.
I don't know.
I can't imagine that that's a thing. So,
It'd be interesting to
I'm
see.
calling fake news on this.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I can't imagine not being allowed to play just for doing that.
For giving somebody the bird.
Yeah. That seems crazy.
I mean, you never know, man. This crazy commissioner. Anyway, all right. That's the show. Happy Halloween. Enjoy it with your kids. Don't eat all their candy because they would like some as well. But don't overfeed them so they're up until midnight tonight.
I don't have to worry about that, so I'm gonna go home and
Give me
chill.
some Reese's Cups. Yeah.
I'm not big on the peanut butter as a dessert thing.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
I like peanut M&Ms better,
Okay.
like regular peanut M&Ms.
All right.
That's up there.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for watching 2 Minute Football. I'm Chris Smith. This is Lee Mason. I want to thank our sponsors, Chris Pryor, Service Realty, 864-380-0525. Plumbing in Pink, Rusty and Lynn Greer, 864-735-7014. Want to thank Brad Black, Coliseum. This is 2 Minute Football. We out till next week.
One of these days you'll
Yeah,
memorize those numbers.
one of these days I'll memorize these damn numbers.